everyone, coming at you with some Rob Lucci against Katakuri gameplay. Rob Lucci is one of those decks that is pretty hit or miss in the meta right now, has a very strong matchup against Whitebeard, but tends to fall off against decks that are really good at flooding the board, as it really lacks any kind of board control card at this moment. Hopefully that gets fixed when the new Luffy starter deck comes out, but until now, they do have some pretty weak matchups to Katakuri, Zoro, and Law, unfortunately for them. They can do well against Katakuri if you are playing a more Navy-heavy version of the Rob Lucci deck, but at the end of the day, it is a deck that can struggle dealing with these big bodies, and though yellow has no removal for black, they can get rid of all of your life. So we're going to see a turn 2 brand new come down here. Kumadori, Spandam, and Borsalino revealed. Borsalino is going to be added to hand, and here we're going to see a Sanji being played, and then a 7k swing looking at our top life and putting that at the bottom. Sanji here, just a bit more aggression out because there's no other play in hand, and then it's going to let us generate a little bit of card advantage by replacing itself. Kumadori is going to come down here, and we are seeing a little bit of aggression coming down from the Rob Lucci side here with a 6k body, and the brand new is going to be able to swing pretty easily at life. Sanji is going to swing 5 and activate its effect here, and then we're going to swing, I believe, 8 here at our opponent, placing our top life at the bottom and seeing if our opponent wants to counter out. 8 is an awkward number for a deck that likes to trash cards, so we like that. And then we're going to play a Pudding to reveal top 4 and grab a Strusen. So we have some counter in hand, and we want to do our best to protect our life at this point because we have 2 7-cost big moms in our hand, and we want to chain these going forward in this matchup. And so being able to protect our Sanji for 2 swings and avoid having our opponent swing at life is just beneficial to us, because it means that we are going to go into our next turn with 4 life, and our opponent's only going to have 2 if they decide to trash, or they'll give us 5 life. We're going to see a Blano come down, and then that Blano is going to block the Katakuri swing at 5, and the Charlotte Lindland's going to come down here, trashing our life. And it was a Fukuro, which is great. We love seeing Fukuros gone from the pool. We do see a pretty big hand from the Lucci side here, not opting to counter a ton of things, but we're going to see a 6k swing from Kumadori here, 2k counter out. That's feeling pretty good. We're going to see a 5k from Leader, and then that's going to be another 2k out. And we're going to see a Borsalino, a Fukuro, and a Dawn slotted underneath the Blano. So we have 3 blockers out right now. A pretty wide board from our Rob Lucci. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to swing 8 again at Leader because we do not want the leaders to be able to stay out there. They're going to see a block from Fukuro and a block from Blano on the Lindland swing. Kumadori coming out, and then another 7-drop Lindland coming down, trashing another life. So the life advantage is pretty heavy on the side of Katakuri right now. And this is the thing, is that if you cannot answer or you cannot build a board wide enough to deal with these Charlotte Lindlands, the trashing of the life feels so impactful and so hard to deal with. And yes, though yellow does not have a ton of removal for these blockers, or really any way to get rid of them other than Katakuri, you're just so behind in cards and bodies that you just end up slowly choking away the game. So at this point in time, there's a lot of pressure on the Lucci player to start to get aggressive, but then it kind of plays into what yellow wants because we've been stacking our life all game. So we're going to see a 5k from brand new that's going to be countered out. A 6k is going to come out, and it's going to be a Charlotte Brûlée, another 6k, and we are going to block with that same Brûlée here, just a free block because we don't want it to get removed, and then have Rob Lucci swing twice potentially at our life, because we're going to be playing our 10 Dawn turn, another 10 cost big mom. So we're going to see a 7k swing at life here. We're going to end up taking that. We're going to see a Borsalino played, and then they're going to leave 2 Dawn active for a Shockwave, I believe. We do see 1 in hand there. So we have a pretty explosive turn here. We're going to play a 10-drop Big Mom just to get them down to no life and see if we can sneak out a little cheeky lethal. We're going to swing 5 with our Charlotte Katakuri leader. Again, just see if we can either bait out some counter or force a block, and then we can swing at some characters. They're going to opt to block it and pitch. We are going to swing 7 at leader here. Sorry, 8 at leader here. And see, they opt to use Shockwave to counter out of it, and they're going to pop the Pudding. And then we're going to swing at the brand new here to clear it. Mostly because we want brand new off the board to limit the amount of swings our opponent's going to have. We don't have any Dawn active here, and they do technically have, 5 swings on board here. We do have a fair bit of cards in hand at this point. I think that we have 5 cards in hand still, so the chances of my opponent being able to successfully lethal us at this point is pretty low. So we're going to see a 6k swing here, and Strussen's going to be pitched here to counter out of that. Again, our opponent could probably clear these 7-cost Big Moms just because they are definite threats, and with only 2 blockers, it's going to be fairly hard because you can split up the Dawn pretty evenly to make them pretty big threats. We're going to see a 8k swing at life, which we are going to take, and it's going to be a Charlotte Parasparrow. We're going to pitch a 10-cost Big Mom here. Our opponent has no life left, so it doesn't really feel super impactful. But we do get another body on board to threaten. We're going to see 10k swing at Big Mom, and that's going to elicit a Lucci activation to swing at the other Big Mom, and that is going to go down here. And then we're going to see a Fukuro. So still 3 blockers on board and 3 attacks, so we have a fairly decent chance of clearing out all of these blockers here at this point. We don't have a fairly huge hand, but we do know that there is an Akaku Sovereignty in our life, so we're going to swing 12 here at the Kumadori because we do not want these bodies on board. They're going to opt to block with the Fukuro here. We do want to try our best to get some out, so we're going to play a pudding just to see what our options are, digging a little bit, and I believe we do end up grabbing a Strusen off of that, or Sanji off of that, sorry, not Strusen, Sanji. So we're just dividing up our Dawn a little bit here. 2 9k swings probably do get some of the bodies off the board, so we're going to swing 9 with Parasparrow at the Kumadori right now, trying to get some of these bodies off the board. If we can at least take one of them off, we're feeling pretty good. So we have 2 Dawn here set aside for an Akaku Sovereignty. We know there's 1 in our life, so we can either decide to trigger it depending on how our opponent opts to swing. We're going to swing here with our leader at 9, and we're going to place the Akaku Sovereignty on the bottom. And this gives us the most flexibility when it comes to playing out our defensive turn. Our opponent's going to opt to counter out of that 9k swing at the Kumadori, pitching 2 cards from their hand, and they will have 2 cards here to activate the Rob Lucci effect. So with that being said, they will have to KO something, whether it's playing a body, but they don't have anything that they can play that can KO, so they have to swing over, which means they have to save one of their swings to kill to make best use of their Rob Lucci. So they're going to swing here at leader, which we will take that first swing gladly. We do not have the counter power really to get out of an 11k swing at this point. We're going to see a 8k swing, potential 7k swing here at the Parasparrow, which it will go down, and they're going to restand the Rob Lucci here, and we're going to reveal top 3, and there's an Akaku Sovereignty. So now we have 1 in hand and 1 in life. So at this point, we probably don't, the Lucci player probably doesn't need to go for it, because they do have a Blano in hand, but they can't play it. So going for game here, it's an Akaku, and we're going to pitch 2 cards from hand to recover that life. They're going to swing at the last life out of kind of desperation, and they're going to swing with Rob Lucci. We're going to use a Akaku and then pitch a 2k just to get out of it, and then that's going to be the game. Katakuri taking it versus Rob Lucci. Thanks so much everyone for tuning in, and until next time, Monty out.